Printing a picture is simple, right? Let's rewind.
Okay, I'm a graphic design major. My experience with film has been solely based on just one course that I had at university. So when I tried film, it was new to me. It required a level of patience I did not possess. Maybe I grew later. But it made me appreciate digital photography a little bit more, but gave me a whole new love for film photography. I would only do it as a hobby. For a course, it's too stressful, to be honest. It requires time that you may not have enough to put into. And as a hobby, it's getting a little extinct because places don't help you develop your photos. You can't get the chemicals, and it's not very easy to have a studio in your house. So if I was to look into it as a hobby, I would still have someone develop my photos for me.
After the photographer has finished their film roll, it's time to head into the lab and gather the supplies. First, you'll need 1 to 2 rolls of exposed T-Max film, developing tank, 2 negative carriers, can opener, and scissors. These are the supplies you'll need to take the film from its original container into the developing tank. Now it's time to take the supplies and head into the light-proofed room. The next steps you will have to do in complete darkness, so be careful. Now for the tricky part, loading the film into the reel. Take a reel and feed the first piece of film into it. It may resist at first, but once it passes the ball bearing, it seems to pop on back into track. Rotate one side of the reel about 1/8 of a turn and return it back to its original position. As this action is repeated, the film will wind around the track. Then use your finger as a guide, find the scissors, and cut the tongue off your film. Once all your film is loaded onto the reels, place the reels inside your light-safe tank and close it up. At this point, it's safe to turn on the lights. Now it's time to prepare the chemicals and start developing. When all the chemicals are prepared and your film is loaded into the developing tank, you're ready to start the developing process. The first step is to start with the T-Max developer. The chemical should be maintained at 72 degrees. Pour 20 Oz of the solution into the tank and rotate the tank sideways for 7 minutes. Then, pour out the developer from the tank and discard. Now, pour in 20 Oz of stop bath and agitate for 30 seconds. Pour out and discard. Next, pour in 20 Oz of fixer and agitate for 8 minutes. Now it's time to give your negative a 5-minute running water wash. Remove light safe lid and let the water pour directly onto the reels. Now it's time to remove the negatives from the reel and hang them in a clean, dust-free area. Negatives should be given at least 2 hours before you can touch them again. Once the negative have dried, access a light table and hold your negatives onto the light source to examine them, using a film magnifier to check for any brittleness or dusting. Once you're happy with the results of the film development, it's time to print on paper. First, take the paper into the darkroom and make sure no outer light is coming through. Then, put your film into the light machine to expose your paper to the light, thus burning the image onto the paper.
The most interesting part basically is putting that paper under the printing machine and seeing your photo develop right in front of your eyes. Basically, it's like you've taken the photograph, but you have the chance to remake the photo.
Once the paper has been exposed to the light of the light box, prepare the chemicals to dip the paper into. Start by placing the paper into the developer for 1 to 2 minutes. Take it out and lightly shake it. Then, move the paper into the second chemical, the stop bath, for 30 seconds. Now, take it out and put it into the fixer for 2 minutes. After that, wash the paper under still water for 4 minutes.
How back in the day people used it for different purposes. It wasn't just a form of art. People needed to capture moments, it was for journalism, it was for history. So it makes you realize that it's more than just an Instagram photo. Be patient, be very, very, very patient. It's not an easy thing, and it's not like digital photography at all, considering the new generation who takes pictures with their phones and instantly share them on Instagram. It's not the same. I wouldn't even put it into the same class. It's an art of its own.